mind. And the question is, what is Nairobi doing to unseat Johannesburg as Africa's capital of capital? Watch the conversation right here on KBC Channel 1 with me, O'Brien Kimani.
City girl, and I set it for you. Don't gonna juicy vibes, some passion for two. Masose masambu, chuzi kosa poka juice. Yangwe kujeka iko full, neza don't drop poka full. You want a mango one, come take it from me. Apple na kuja nae, she juice it for me. She juice it for me, she juice it for me. Can you juice, she juice, and you juice it for me. Juicy shatu bamba uneza rudia. Juicy shika sana na baridi nwena. Moja mbili tatu cheki juicy shatu. Pulo pulo. Choose it for me.
For 60 years, Port Sacco has been a trusted financial partner, helping individuals, families, and businesses turn their financial dreams to reality. Whether you are building a home, expanding a business, investing for the future, or planning for your next milestone, we have tailored our products and services to suit your specific needs. Join us today and enjoy quick loan approvals, attractive returns on your investment, and unmatched customer experience. Membership is now open to all. Port Sacco, uplifting people.
With Ajab all-purpose flour, making perfect chapatis has never been this easy. The dough is easy to knead, rolls effortlessly, saving you time without compromising on taste. Enjoy Ajab all-purpose flour.
Umemeni, nguvu ya safari yetu, nuru ya kujenga na kuangaza nchi.
Dial *977# or download my Power app to access Kenya Power services fast and easy. Kenya Power, nuru ya Kenya.
Your home is one of your greatest investments. Have you purchased a domestic package cover? The policy covers residential building against damage by floods, fire and lightning and other causes. House contents like furniture and household goods against theft or damage. Personal belongings like laptops, tablets, iPads and phones within and outside the home. Death or injury to domestic servants in the course of employment. Death or injury to visitors within the residential premises. Read and understand the terms and conditions of your policy. This message is brought to you by the Insurance Regulatory Authority, IRA. IRA, Bima Bora kwa Taifa.
And those are the live images from Old Kalou Secondary School, the main tallying center for the Old Kalou by-election. As you can see, the tallying continues because the voting exercise stopped at about some few minutes past 5 p.m. Good evening and thank you for joining us. It is a critical moment for the residents of Old Kalou constituency in Nyandarua County. About 73,000 people are registered as voters in the agricultural-rich county. The question is, what is the expected voter turnout in 3rd County? It is one of the 5 constituencies in Nyandarua County. And tonight, we're keeping eyes on what is happening in All Kalau and who will emerge victorious in the hotly contested by-election. And tonight, we have our reporters on the ground. You're the most trusted newscast this side of Sahara. Good evening and thank you for joining us. This is the Prime Edition. My name is O'Brien Kimani. We are starting off this bulletin with the highlights, and thereafter we are taking you straight to All Kalau to get a glimpse of what's happening there. But for now, let's have a look at the highlights. It's decision time in All Kalau. Constituents await the outcome of the parliamentary by-election.
Be investigated and perpetrators brought to book immediately.
Attack the messenger. Media fraternity condemns attacks on journalists in All Kalau as Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen says investigations are underway.
From the correspondence, minutes indicate that a resolution was passed to remove the Deputy Senate Minority Whip, Senator Edwin Sifuna CBS MP.
And Nairobi City County Senator Edwin Sifuna is de-whipped from the position of Deputy Minority Chief Whip. Nelsa, oh. But thanks for joining us tonight. As earlier I told you, the constituents of All Kalau, the vote counting is currently underway. And now we want to take you straight there so that you can get a highlight of what is happening there. And our reporter John Jacob Curie is on standby with the latest from All Kalau. John Jacob Curie, thank you very much indeed for joining us. What do you want us to know at this moment with the time coming to 9:09 in All Kalau constituency?
There you go. These are some of the results that are streaming in from the All Kalau by-election. And as it is so far, Samuel Ngodho Waweru of the DCP party has taken an early lead against his closest challenger, and that is the UDA candidate, that is Samuel Mushina Nyaga. If you look at the number of votes, and I'll be telling you about some of the polling stations that have already reported provisional results. Rather, we have about 13 or 14 polling stations already that have already reported, and these are some of the results that will be sampling for you very quickly regarding how these candidates have fared. At the JM Nursery School stream, Samuel Ngodho of DCP got 42 votes, while Mushina Nyaga of UDA got 7 votes. And then you see at the Githunguri Primary School station, Samuel Ngodho of DCP has 249 votes, while Mushina Nyaga of UDA has 22 votes. Then you have Munyeki Primary School, where Ngodho Sami gets 214 votes, while Mushina Nyaga got 34 votes. St. Joseph's Primary School, Stream 1, Samuel Ngodho had 232 votes, while Mushina Nyaga had about 40. Rorio Primary School, Stream 1, Mushina Nyaga got 14 votes, while Samuel Ngodho has about 155. The Kahonge Primary School, Stream 1, Ngodho Sami got 36 votes, while Moshina Nyaga got 28 votes. Tumaini Primary School, Sami Ngodho has 109 votes, while Moshina Nyaga has 31 votes. At the Huruma Primary School, Stream 1 of 6, because there are 6 streams, Moshina Nyaga has 44 votes, while Ngodho Sami of DCP has 265. The Huruma Primary Stream 3, I'm going to get the figures correctly, but Moshina Nyaga has about 47. Sami Ngodho has a higher figure. Obviously, that is what leads us to conclude that in this race, by the provisional results announced so far, from about 14-15 polling stations, Sami Ngodho Waweru of the DCP party has taken an early lead against his closest challenger, that is Samuel Moshina Nyaga of the ruling UDA party. The verification obviously is ongoing, but like I said, there is no tallying really that happens here, or rather it's just the addition of these votes emanating from the polling stations, and that is through a form that is signed by every single agent of every political party and candidate, and once they append their signature and then the polling clerks append theirs, that is the form that is obviously brought to the main tallying center for the very purpose of being announced here by the presiding officer in all Kalau. Let me just take you through quick pictures of what is happening. You are seeing polling clerks here and IBC officials. Their work generally is to put together those forms and verify the process, but then for the safety of the ballot and the sanctity of the election process, you're seeing ballot papers and their ballot boxes up front, and they are sealed. That is for the purpose of, if any candidate were to challenge the outcome of this election, then it would mean that the court will order a recount of those ballot papers or opening of all the boxes for a recount, and that is why they are properly sealed, and they'll also be stored in the IEBC stores for the very purpose that if any candidate is dissatisfied with this election and probably is able to point to the court towards the direction of irregularities or malpractice, the court can order what you would call a recount or a recheck of these ballot papers. That is why once they are sealed here and stored there, they will just be removed from that where they are being stored at the stage, and then they will be taken straight to the IEBC stores. That is, they can be retrieved in case there is any dispute. You can also see now the process of going through the form, and that form is also stored in that ballot box. So once it is unsealed again, what you just get is the form and then the verification of the details in there, and that is the electronic copy of what the picture of what the agents as well as the polling officials took and sent here to the main tallying center. It is verified against the physical copy, and that is to verify that they are the same. Let's just listen in a little bit as other results are announced.
Number of voters is 588. Number of valid voters in favor of each candidate: Abifatan Hussein 00, Timothy Kamal Kayuki 01, Wilson Maliki 01, Edwin Kaleni 00, Edwin Madenge 00, Edwin Abuja 00, Samuel Moshina Nyaga 045, Stephen Amwiko Idaka 00, Sabi Douglas Kamal Waweru 283. Total number of valid voters
There you have it. Those are other results announced right now, and that is how the process is ongoing. Considering that we have about 16 polling stations that have reported, tells you we have a long way to go. We have about another 130 approximately before we can call this exercise a close, and then when the winner will be declared and the provisional winning certificate is issued to them. So we are here for the long haul, and we'll be giving you updates obviously on what is transpiring. We are yet to see the candidates or their of course we can see some agents representing different political parties here, but we are yet to see any candidates coming into the hall to witness the final tallying process. But these are provisional results, and this is what you're going to get up until when we have the 144th ballot box inside this hall.
Back to you in studio.
Of course, that is our reporter John Jacob Curia, who is at the main tallying center in this All Kalau by-election, that is All Kalau Secondary School, and of course giving us an update on the numbers that are streaming in through. The talk is over. Time now for the numbers to do the talking. And according to the results that the figures that we have here, about 13 polling centers have so far, the numbers have come through where Sami Godo of DCP has taken an early lead, and Mushina Samuel Nyaga of UDA is trading in second position. And it is still too early to call this election because it is only 13 polling centers that have so far, their numbers have been confirmed by IEBC. Remember, you still have about 130 polling centers, so it is still too early. But you know what, we are here the whole night tracking the numbers and of course telling you where they're going and the story that they are sharing with us. As you can see on your screen, the polling clerks are continuing with that counting process. Well, still on All Kalau, where residents of All Kalau constituency are awaiting the results of the parliamentary by-election held today. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission ensured they tackled hurdles that threatened to slow down the process. However, the poll was not without drama as rival political camps accused each other of applying voter suppression tactics. The mini poll was occasioned by the demise of long-serving lawmaker David Kiaraho.
At the break of dawn, the gates of 144 polling stations in All Kalau constituency were open, ready for voters who are already queuing to exercise their democratic right. A high-stakes by-election that recorded a significant turnout. The elderly were the majority of the voters. Some streams experiencing long queues, while in some, the Kim's kit failed to identify voters. The hitch was, however, quickly resolved using standby kits. There were, however, complaints of unresolved incidents of non-identification of voters biometrically. 9 candidates were on the ballot. Among those who voted in the morning was Samuel Mushina of United Democratic Alliance, who voted minutes before 9 a.m. at Huruma Primary School. Sami Kama of Democracy for Citizens Party, who cast his ballot at SC Primary School at around 10:30 a.m. Jubilee's Engineer Wilson Kigwa voted at around 10 a.m. at Kandutura Primary School, while NLP Stephen Wedhaka voted at around 11:40 a.m. at Gashwe Primary School. The candidates lauded the Electoral Commission in the conduct of the by-elections.
The polling stations or polling centers, the turnout is very wonderful. The people have come out in numbers, and the officers that are there are doing quite a commendable job.
It's amazing that the turnout is big. This is 10 o'clock, and you can see the lines are long. I have also found large crowds in other polling centers, meaning that everyone has decided to vote early. I don't think later we'll have voters coming in late. This is in line with the call we gave them during our campaign.
I've casted my vote na nimependa the process yenye inaendelea. At least there is peace and tuna hope itaendelea hivyo. Though kuna so many policies wenye wanakaa as if they are somehow intimidating, that ndio tumeshangaa what is the purpose, but all the same we are very okay.
Everyone within our Kalau constituencies to come out today and to come out in large numbers so that they could direct their member of parliament who will serve them for the next 1 year. So I feel people are really, the turnout is really encouraging.
While expressing confidence of emerging victorious, a section of candidates accuse each other of plotting to suppress voters through targeted propaganda of violence in the constituency.
Hiyo miaka yote tulikuwa kwa kiti na tumekuwa elected mara 3. Hatujawahi sikia watu wakirushiana mambo ama kutukanana. Na ndio tunaomba hiyo spirit ya hiyo vision iendelee hata leo. Watu wa Kalau tunawaomba sana mkumbuke hii machaguzi ni siku moja tu, lakini kesho mimi na wewe tutakuwa barabarani tukiwa my neighbors.
We are asking people to man the polling station outside the polling station so that these people do not come in and disrupt the tallying. So we are not asking people to get into the polling station. We are asking them to condone the polling station so that we do not have outsiders coming to interfere with the elections.
All the citizens and all the political players to allow the electoral officials to count the votes peacefully in the presence of the agents, observers, and media, only the accredited persons who are in the polling station. The rest of the people, our advice and our call is that they go home.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is expected to announce the final results after tallying of votes is complete.
Well, that is the story of all Kalau today, and of course, as we have told you earlier, the tallying of the ballots continues tonight. But I can give you some very interesting statistics about all Kalau constituency. It has a population, or Nyandarua County. It has a population of about 640,000 people. Yeah, that's right. And its contribution to Kenya's GDP, or the annual wealth, its contribute to Kenya's national wealth is about 1.5%. It's quite small. And when you look at it from a national wealth, or what we call a national county GDP, you're talking about 198 billion shillings. So that tells you that it's quite a poor county. And of course, let's see where we go from there. You're watching the Prime Edition of the Me O'Brien Kimani. We are taking a break. We're coming back with more stories. Stay right here.
Did you know crop insurance protects farmers from losses caused by unexpected events like extreme weather, floods, pests, diseases, drought, and fire? It also covers uncertainties in crop yields due to weather-related and natural disasters. It covers crops such as wheat, sugarcane, rice, maize, barley, and tomatoes. Now you know. Read and understand the terms and conditions of your policy. This message is brought to you by the Insurance Regulatory Authority, IRA. IRA, bima bora kwa taifa.
Umemeni nguvu ya safari yetu, nuru ya kujenga na kuangaza nchi. Nuru ya maendeleo, nuru ya ustawi, nuru ya ubunifu.
Dial *977# or download my Power app to access Kenya Power services fast and easy. Kenya Power, nuru ya Kenya.
This is quite a game. It'll be a free kick. Oh, what a goal! Ecstasy, euphoria, and emotion overflows.
Michuano ya kombe la dunia yanakaribia kilele na sasa ni kufa kupona. Farasi wawili wanaopatana ugani, ni mmoja tu ndiye atakayesalia, huku mwingine akifunganya virago na kuelekea nyumbani. Je, ni timu gani itakayotwaa ubingwa huu mnamo Julai 19 pale MetLife Stadium? Jibu hili utalipata hapa KBC Channel 1, tukikupeperushia matangazo ya FIFA World Cup moja kwa moja kutoka Mexico, Canada na USA.
Goal! They've done it!
Pia unaweza kupokea matangazo haya kupitia stesheni za redio za KBC. Istoshe, kwa wale wanaopenda kuona mechi kupitia big screens, KBC itawatembelea mtaani kwenu. World Cup iko KBC. KBC, your true sports partner.
World Cup iko KBC na Kenya ina watch pamoja. Nairobi, Nakuru, Kitengela, Kalou and Kisii. Come join your favorite KBC presenters and DJs kwa ground. Feel the bow fever in every city.
Welcome to the Morindat Institute of Oil and Gas with campuses in Nairobi, Naivasha, and Eldoret. At Morindat Institute of Oil and Gas, we equip learners with world-class practical training tailored for real-world dynamic challenges. At our Eldoret branch, we specialize in firefighting and oil and gas economics. We offer competitive courses in welding, mechanical, and oil and gas operations at our Nairobi campus, and corporate courses and modern training facilities at our Naivasha campus. Our expert faculty delivers globally relevant programs designed to meet the rising regional and international demand for oil and gas expertise. Join us today. For inquiries, call us on 0704 801 596 or 0713 693 379, or send us an email at miog.ac.ke.
Welcome back. The All-Kalau constituency by-election was largely peaceful as police manned security in all polling stations. A security check was mounted at Captain Centre in the late afternoon. Police lobbed tear gas, disrupting the relative calm at AC St. Joseph and Mombi primary schools. A section of residents blocked vehicles from accessing the polling stations on suspicions that occupants had ill motives. Two journalists from The Star and NTV, respectively, lost their cameras during the fracas.
This is SC Primary School, one of the largest polling stations in All-Kalau constituency, with over 4,000 registered voters. Voters queued patiently, waiting for an opportunity to vote for their candidate of choice. Like all other polling stations, uniformed police officers were present to ensure a smooth exercise free of disruptions. A spot check by KBC Channel 1 in the morning revealed a similar situation at Gachwe Primary, St. Joseph Primary, Kieni Primary, and other polling stations. The men and women in uniform were not taking any chances. At Captain Centre along the Gilgil All-Kalau Road, police sustained their security checks on vehicles coming in and out of All-Kalau. Later in the afternoon, the atmosphere at SC Primary, St. Joseph School and Mombe Primary turned chaotic as hooded men in Land Cruisers shot in the air and lobbed tear gas canisters at the crowds who had gathered outside the polling stations.
I urge the press to continue with their brave work of covering even what is supposed to be hidden.
This came after the residents blocked the vehicles from entering the polling stations. In the melee, the star photojournalist Enos Teche and NTV videographer George Kieru lost their cameras. However, normalcy returned after the hooded men drove off and 2 lorries of GSU officers arrived to restore calm. Nation Media Group and Kenya Editors Guild have condemned attacks on journalists. Michael Moniga for Prime Edition.
And still on Olkala, where Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has warned that anybody found to have instigated violence or chaos during the Olkala by-election will face the full force of the law. The Cabinet Secretary said investigations are underway and the law will not spare security officers found to have acted unlawfully and used excessive force. He spoke after addressing the Trans Nzoia County Assembly and officially opening the Wellness and Committee Services Centre.
The Inspector General of Police deployed enough officers to provide security in Olkalau. These allegations of some other persons who are causing havoc in the Olkalau must be investigated thoroughly, and anyone who is culpable must be arrested, regardless of their what they were doing and who deployed them to Olkalau. Whether they were deployed by the Inspector General and they went and misbehaved, they must be dealt with and dealt with finality. I am not, let me say this, we are not condoning violence in any way, whether it was Olkalau, whether it was Mbere, whether it was Narok, and whether in the next elections. We want to assure the people of Kenya that we are not going to condone that kind of. So any such actions must be investigated and perpetrators brought to book immediately.
We are taking you back to Olkala, where our reporter Giverson Minor is now joining us to give us more updates on how the numbers are looking and what is the situation on the ground. Giverson Minor, if you can hear me, please unroll it for us.
Now, Brian Kimani from the Broadcasting House in Nairobi. And now I'm right here at the epicenter of the Olkalau constituency. This is Olkalau Senior School. And this is where the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IBC, are doing their final job, their final exercise to tally. Because the elections are done, they were closed at 5. And so it's the job of the IBC to do the final honors of tallying the votes and announcing, officially declaring the winner of the Olkalau by-elections. And so where I am standing is just a few meters from the main gate of the polling, or rather the tallying center. And of course, you'll see just in a few minutes or so, you'll see vehicles coming in. And most of them, they are public service vehicles hired by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IBC, to carry electoral materials. And these include the votes cast by the electorate of the Olkalau constituency. And we can report independently that not more than 50% of the 144 polling stations have returned their tally, or rather their votes in this particular place. And so they keep on coming. They keep on coming every minute, every 5 minutes, and every 30 minutes. They keep on coming because, of course, the election is final at the polling station. But then those numbers cannot be added until the physical forms are brought here so that the agents of the various parties can confirm that these are actually the figures we announce at the polling station. And so if they agree, these are the official results from the polling station, and then they are added to the final tally. And so that explains why the exercise of tallying could take quite a longer time than expected. And so we keep on here. I can also tell you that this particular place has been secured by a very heavy presence of policemen and women in uniform and non-uniform. All of them, many of them are here, close maybe to 500 or so. Even outside, we can also hear the shouts and chants of supporters of various candidates here. Could be UDA, could be DCP, as they wait the final tally to be announced or to be declared. And so that necessitates the manning of security, the securing of this vicinity of the All Kalau Senior School, because it's very important. This particular place is actually the last stage of the by-election, tallying of the votes and declaring the winner. And so, O'Brien, I don't know whether you have any question, but so far this is what is going on. The vehicles hired by the IBC keep on bringing in the votes as cast at the various polling stations, 144 of them, and the place has been secured. And so there's no any worry. Enough policemen and women have secured the vicinities of the epicenter of the All Kalau by-election. O'Brien.
Yeah, thank you very much, for that update. Give us on, but I just want to find out from you, do we have an idea like what time the vote counting or ballot counting is likely to come to an end?
O'Brien, if the IBC Commissioner Anne Nderitu had earlier said that these particular exercises could come to an end at about 12 midnight. It's just about 9:40, so I think we have about 2 hours to go to 12 midnight. Maybe she predicted it right, maybe she did not get it right, but I think maybe at 12 midnight, we could be heading somewhere. Maybe we could heading to about 70% of the total tally, or about 80%, or about 90%. So it's not very clear, because the IBC, they are having their good time just to ensure that the final tally that is declared is accurate and with no any figures that could be disputed later. So they take their good time to ensure everybody is satisfied, the agents of various political parties are satisfied, and they have enough time to verify that what is coming into the tallying center is the figures that were announced at the polling stations across all the 144 polling stations, 5 wards in All Kalau constituency.
I don't know whether you've managed to go to All Kalau town, because it is the administrative capital of Nyandarua County, and probably maybe you can share with us the mood in All Kalau town.
Now, O'Brien, I've been camping there at the All Kalau town for quite some time, since the tallying, the exercise began in the morning, and of course what transpired at 2 p.m. at various polling stations. This is AC Primary, St. Joseph's Primary, and of course Mombi's Primary. There was quite chaotic scenes as unknown people tried to engage with the residents who were camping outside the polling centers, or rather the polling stations. They say they were guarding their votes, or rather they are waiting for the exercise to be complete, and they wanted to get the final tally at the polling station. So there was a confrontation thereby, but the police men in uniform came and of course restored everything to normalcy. But even as now, just a few minutes when I was coming from town, there are also police patrolling the entire town, and the area where we witnessed a confrontation, the stones and the rocks scattered that had blocked the road leading to the AC primary school, the stones were still there. No vehicles were moving along that road because the supporters of various candidates were still camping there, and so we're making just rounds in town. There were heavy presence of police. They were still securing the place, and of course these people could not get away from town even when they are chased. They were happy, and they were chanting the names and even shouting the names of their supporters who would believe they could win these particular elections. And so this is how we can even hear the chants from supporters even from here we are standing about 500 meters away from here. O'Brien.
Thank you very much, Give us on for that update, and of course we'll keep on coming back to you so that you can keep us updated on what's happening in Ol Kalou. Thank you very much indeed. That's Give us on Minor, who is outside the Ol Kalou Secondary School, which is the main tallying center for the Ol Kalou constituency, giving us an update on what exactly is happening here. The vote counting continues throughout the night, and we are here throughout the night as well to give you all the update from Ol Kalou. You are watching the Prime Edition. This is a special coverage of the Ol Kalou by-election. A short break is well deserved. We are coming back with more.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
Colgate Charcoal Gentle Clean cleans and polishes teeth for a whiter smile and a naturally fresh and clean mouth. Choose natural. Choose Colgate Charcoal.
Welcome to the Morindat Institute of Oil and Gas with campuses in Nairobi, Naivasha, and Eldoret. At Morindat Institute of Oil and Gas, we equip learners with world-class practical training tailored for real-world dynamic challenges. At our Eldoret branch, we specialize in firefighting and oil and gas economics. We offer competitive courses in welding, mechanical, and oil and gas operations at our Nairobi campus, and corporate courses and modern training facilities at our Naivasha campus. Our expert faculty delivers globally relevant programs designed to meet the rising regional and international demand for oil and gas expertise. Join us today. For inquiries, call us on 0704 801 596 or 0713 693 379, or send us an email at miog.ac.ke.
Messi to the edge of the England box. Fernandes again. Brilliant. Simply brilliant. Argentina level it.
Jude Bellingham makes an all-but effort, but England are too far. They're too disconnected. VAR will have a quick look. I think Messi will be okay if he played on by someone from England in midfield. And England retreat. And Fernandes from 25 yards, bump. Bellingham can't do anything about it. It's an outstanding. He's had a couple of testers this time. He didn't need another invitation.
I am Chef Ombachi. Today I'm cooking ugali na Ajab Premium Maize Meal. Boil water, done. Add Ajab Premium Maize Meal. Done. Grab your mwiko and stir the mixture. Done. Enjoy the amazing aroma. Enjoy incredibly soft ugali. Done. Ingia ligi ya kipekee na Ajab Premium Maize Meal.
Sporting theatre this. Messi drives it in. Pickford through the crowd did enough. For now, Molina. Crossed by Messi. It's a beauty. What a save by Pickford. Time and again, he comes up in the clutch moments for his country. I cannot remember a more brilliant save than that one.
Oh, there's been a lot of talk about the comparison between Pickford and Shilton. Well, I'll tell you what, if this turns out to be the save that gets them to a final, he may just overtake the great man Peter Shilton.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup is coming to the end, and what a tournament this has been. Giants have fallen. Brazil, Germany, and even the fairy tale of Cabo Verde has come to an end. Now only 4 teams remain, and as we start the kick-off to the semi-finals and the finals, BBC World Service and KBC English Service will bring you live the action of the remaining matches. Catch all of them on KBC English Service and BBC World Service.
The cities of New York, London, Dubai, and even Hong Kong dominate the global financial hub centers. Nairobi is angling for a piece of this pie. What is Nairobi doing to position itself as Africa's capital of capital?
We want Kenya, of course, to be the home of fund domiciliation in the continent. We want Nairobi to be the home of startups in the continent. We want Nairobi to be the home of technology in the continent. And also to be the home of innovation in the continent. And the only thing that can do that is a financial center.
This week on Inside Government, we're talking to the Chief Executive Officer, Nairobi International Financial Center, Daniel Mainda. And the question is, what is Nairobi doing to unseat Johannesburg as Africa's capital of capital? Watch the conversation right here on KBC Channel 1 with me, O'Brien Kimani.
Slim Nyarawendo SNA
Radio Mayiga Mato Marwa.
It's election night in All Kalau constituency, and of course we're keeping you posted on all the updates coming out of All Kalau. Let's first of all come back to Nairobi, where Nairobi City County Senator Edwin Sifuna has been de-whipped as the Deputy Minority Whip. Sifuna has been replaced by Migori County Senator Eddie Okech. Senate Speaker Emerson Kingi, while giving the communication to the House Thursday afternoon, followed a resolution by the minority party leadership informing the Speaker of the changes in the party leadership. Sifuna's de-whipping comes a few days after being officially removed as the Orange Democratic Party Secretary General.
Just a few days after Nairobi City County Senator Edwin Sifuna lost his long-fought battle to retain the ODM's Secretary General seat, the senator has now been de-whipped from the Senate Minority Deputy Whip.
Natuombe, Mwenyezi Mungu.
The communication was made on Thursday afternoon by the Senate Speaker Emerson Kingi after he received a letter from the minority party informing him of the resolution reached by the minority leadership.
The minutes of the minority party meeting dated the 15th of July 2026, which is a record of the proceedings of the meeting together with the resolution, and 2 duly signed list of senators in support of the resolution. From the correspondence, the minutes indicate that a resolution was passed to remove the Deputy Senate Minority Whip, Senator Edwin Sifuna, CBS MP.
Sifuna has been replaced by Migori County Senator Eddie Gisheru Okech.
I have verified the correspondence received and hereby communicate that the minority party has effected a change in the office of the Deputy Senate Minority Whip. The new office holder with immediate effect is Senator Eddie Gisheru Okech, MP.
On Thursday last week, the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties formally recognized the removal of Sifuna as Orange Democratic Movement Party's Secretary General. The ORPP indicated that the removal has complied with both the Political Parties Act and the party's constitution.
Elsewhere, President William Ruto has commissioned consultations and eventual preparations of Kenya's first State of Openness report to be launched later this year. The report seeks to establish a national benchmark for measuring transparency, accountability and institutional performance across government institutions to strengthen public trust.
Ruto hosted delegates from the judiciary, ambassadors of the United Kingdom and Germany to Kenya, among others, for the preparation of Kenya's first State of Openness report.
There are other good Kenyans who are also doing some very useful work on how we can run the affairs of our nation in a space that there is adequate information to citizens and that we are open and transparent, obeying constitutional imperatives of transparency and accountability.
The report will establish a national benchmark for measuring government institution transparency, accountability, citizen participation and access to information, while confronting the growing threat of fake news, misinformation and disinformation.
As we've heard, open government it's not a bureaucratic exercise. It's a constitutional undertaking. It's the foundation of democratic legitimacy, public trust, and indeed economic confidence. We know that transparent, accountable governments attract investment, reduce the cost of doing business, and deliver better outcomes for our citizens.
Ruto said the country is leveraging technology and has expanded the digitization of government services.
Those that were digitized in 2022 were about 350. Today, we have 26,000 government services digitized. And on a digital platform, people can access government information, government services, pay for those services.
However, ministries, state departments, agencies, Constitutional Commission and county governments have been urged to extend their full cooperation and provide timely, accurate and comprehensive information.
Despite significant democratic and governance reforms over the past decade, Kenya continues to face persistent challenges relating to institutional transparency, access to information, public accountability and citizen trust.
The report will be launched later in the year. Kasichana Masha, Prime Edition.
Later on this bulletin, we shall be engaging with the Peace Ambassador. This is a Venerable Canon Dr. Scholar Wayua. She's a lecturer at St. Paul's University and, of course, a Peace Ambassador. This conversation is coming up shortly. Breast and cervical cancers remain the leading cancers among women in Kenya, while prostate and oesophageal cancers are the most common among men, according to the National Cancers Registry's 2024 cancer report. The registry recorded 14,461 new cases, with 8,222 diagnosed among women and 6,225 among men. Speaking at the launch of the National Cancer Institute of Kenya Institutional Scientific and Ethics Review Committee, Health Cabinet Secretary Eden Duale noted that the government is prioritizing early screening, research and evidence-based policy making to improve cancer outcomes in the country.
The National Cancer Registry shows that breast, cervical, esophageal, prostate and colorectal cancers accounted for 58.5% of all cancer cases reported in Kenya in 2024, with the burden rising sharply after the age of 40. Nyeri, Murang'a and Uasin Gishu counties recorded the highest cancer incidence rates, while the lowest rates were reported in the arid and semi-arid counties of Mandera, Turkana, Wajir, West Pokot and Samburu. However, the registry notes that the lower incidence in these counties may reflect limited access to cancer screening, diagnosis and treatment services, as well as gaps in cancer registry coverage rather than a lower disease burden. The report also reveals that nearly half of all reported cases lacked staging information, while 78.6% of patients with documented staging were diagnosed at advanced stages, underscoring the need for early diagnosis and timely treatment. Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale said the government is shifting its focus from treating advanced cancer to promoting early screening, diagnosis and community awareness.
We must reconfigure how we deal with cancer, the whole way of dealing with it. We should not wait for the patients now in the healthcare facilities. We must do diagnostic screening, we must do early screening, early detection, and we must do community sensitization.
The Cabinet Secretary noted that the newly launched Institutional Scientific and Ethics Review Committee will strengthen cancer research and ensure government policies are guided by credible scientific evidence.
Every decision we make within the healthcare sector affects the patient. So the decision must be made right, must be evidence-based, and it must be done timely.
We cannot overemphasize the importance of having local research to guide our decision-making. And from a policy level for us as the board and together with the ministry, what they need is to be sure that the decisions we are making are for the benefit of Kenyans out there.
Duale further challenged healthcare providers to make cancer screening part of routine medical care, saying every visit to a health facility should provide an opportunity for early detection.
We have a problem in our country. We must speak about cancer, and we must tell our citizens, and we must even make it such a way that any person visiting a health facility doesn't come out without a screening.
Jacqueline Masharia for Prime Edition.
Listen up. Koala Cakes is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
Colgate Charcoal Gentle Clean cleans and polishes teeth for a whiter smile and a naturally fresh and clean mouth. Choose natural. Choose Colgate Charcoal.
This is quite a game. It'll be a free kick. Oh, what a goal! Ecstasy, euphoria, and emotion overflows.
Stop Messi, which he did. Messi still weaves his magic though, and here he goes, the crowd are on their feet all around. To be fair,
I have a bit of sympathy. This is the three tackle. Spence does really well, then Harry Kane has a nibble, Messi keeps going, Gordon comes flying in. Oh.
Did you know
In life, losses and misfortunes occur from time to time. Insurance is a financial protection that takes care of misfortunes that may occur despite measures being taken to prevent them. Insurance helps policyholders mitigate against financial impact of unexpected occurrences. Now you know. Read and understand the terms and conditions of your policy. This message is brought to you by the Insurance Regulatory Authority, IRA. IRA, Bima Bora kwa Taifa. The wait is over. KBC Iko Huduma Center. Starting with Nairobi, kupata huduma za KBC imekuwa rahisi. From digital guidance and signet services to booking of commercial adverts and documentaries. Visit our dedicated desks at Huduma Center GPO, Times Square, Makadara, Kibera, or Eastleigh. Tunakungoja hapo. Whether it's a casual announcement or a specialized media solution for your business, we are here to serve you. KBC at Huduma Centers, moving closer to you. Your station, your service.
Welcome back. You're watching the Prime Edition with the time now coming to 22:03. Chief Justice Martha Koome has challenged the Court of Appeal to eliminate case backlog and deliver timely justice, saying the country's expanded appellate bench must translate into improved service delivery. Speaking during the swearing-in ceremony of Justice Gatembo Kairo as the new president of the Court of Appeal, the Chief Justice said that the judiciary has entered a new phase of institutional transformation. Here is Michael Mandiga with the details.
Leadership transition on Thursday with the installation of Justice Gatembo Kairo as the president of the Court of Appeal. The ceremony held in Nairobi at the Supreme Court brought together judges, members of the Judicial Service Commission, the Law Society of Kenya, amongst others. It is here the Chief Justice Martha Koome noted that the Court of Appeal has experienced remarkable growth, expanding from 4 to 8 permanent stations and increasing its judicial complement from 13 judges in the year 2021 to 41 judges following the appointment of 15 additional judges this year.
At the close of the last financial year, which was just June, the Court of Appeal had 16,336 pending appeals, of which 9,954 appeals, or 61%, constituted backlog, because we consider every appeal that has not been heard over 1 year a backlog.
In his inauguration speech, the newly installed president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Gatembo Kairo, pledged to transform the appellate court into a more efficient institution by tackling case backlog, strengthening judicial independence, and embracing technology.
The task ahead of us is enormous. The Court of Appeal occupies a unique place. It is the court of last resort in perhaps over 95% of the cases. It is the court through which much of our constitutional, commercial, electoral, criminal, and civil jurisprudence, to mention some, is refined and developed.
Justice Gatembo was elected president of the Appellate Court on 22nd of June, the year 2026, after the expiry of the 5-year term of the former president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Daniel Musanga. Michael Mandiga for Prime Edition.
Elsewhere, calls to address the housing challenges in the African continent took center stage during the Habitat for Humanity Kenya Forum, with the organization unveiling global campaigns aimed at raising awareness and mobilizing action towards closing the housing gap. The 5-year campaign seeks to elevate housing as a more than shelter, while positioning it as foundation for health, climate resilience, economic opportunity, dignity, and sustainable development.
With 53% of sub-Saharan Africa's urban population living in slums, coupled with a housing deficit of 56 million units, Habitat for Humanity Kenya on Thursday unveiled the global Let's Open the Door campaign, a worldwide initiative aimed at raising awareness and mobilizing action toward closing the housing gap.
The appeal that we are making, can we all rally and create a housing movement? We want to create a movement where every Kenyan feels, how does my neighbor live? Can I help my neighbor live a better life? Can I elevate and transform the communities that we live in?
Ninasihi wafadhili ambao wanasikia wito ya kwamba ni vyema kuwa na nyumba nzuri. Unapojenga nyumba hili sio nyumba ya kuweka mtu aweze kukaa starehe, lakini ni kwamba unamsaidia ili familia yake iweze kusimama na iweze kuwa na afya mzuri.
Habitat for Humanity Kenya National Director Dr. Aileen Mokaya says the 5-year campaign seeks to rally states, the private sector and communities to take action.
Other than the normal housings that we build every year, for this particular campaign, we want to do 10,000 floors for the next 5 years. And we also want to build at least 200 manyatas in the next 3 years. So we are beginning this momentum.
For government, we are looking at it from a policy perspective. So we want to engage government to ensure that we have adequate policies, both at national and the county level. For private sector, we want to ensure that you look at this as an opportunity to give back to the community.
Machakos County Governor Wavinya Ndeti, who graced the event, called for partnership between the national and county governments in closing the housing gap.
I'm appealing to all the players, and especially the industry champions, the industry owners, to really partner with Habitat for Humanity, because what they are doing is real. It's not just stories. Yeah, this is tangible.
We look at what Habitat Humanity is also doing beyond housing, such as provision of water, access to safe water, which also help us in supporting elimination of a number of neglected tropical diseases such as intestinal worms and bilharzia.
Beneficiaries of the Habitat for Humanity Kenya initiatives couldn't hide their delight.
Habitat wakati walikuja walitufundisha na sisi tukachukua jukumu kama wamama, kama youth, tukaerefuka, wamama pia wakaerefuka, hata sisi tukaanza kujifanyia kazi na wetu.
Housing has been the core business of Habitat for Humanity Kenya for the last 50 years.
Time for us to have a look at the latest in the world of business, where Kenya Defence Forces personnel have the option of owning houses under the Civil Servants Housing Scheme Fund at a mortgage rate of 4%. Housing Principal Secretary Charles Hinga says the government targets to mobilize at least 25 billion shillings to support 50,000 officers acquire homes.
For years, the mortgage market in Kenya has been held back by high lending rates, steep deposit requirements and limited access to affordable long-term financing.
Many people in the public service have mortgage at 3-4%. When I came in here, I wondered why KDF officers, men and women, don't have the 3% allocation from government.
The government is seeking to address this through interventions such as the Civil Servants Housing Scheme Fund.
Between the State Department of Housing and KCB as an addendum to include all the other officers. Initially we had the state officers, the officers that are ranked above, but today we are very happy that this is going to extend to all officers and an opportunity for you to start owning a home even as you start your employment.
The day you own a house, or at least you have a house that you are paying towards, your conversation changes, because you can walk to Anastasia and ask for a facility, not just against your income, but against your asset.
The new partnership brings the Kenya Defence Forces personnel into the civil servants housing scheme, and it's termed as a game changer by blending government-backed affordability with private sector capital.
So the Defence Forces, this mortgage scheme gives our personnel a practical and affordable opportunity to own a home, whether purchasing a completed affordable housing unit, which has been well marketed here, or building personally owned land, or completing an existing housing project. Our personnel will have access to financing tailored realities.
Hinga says there are plans to bring in more financial institutions to impact more officers from the disciplined forces.
This is how we will build, among other initiatives, build a stronger Kenya Defence Forces, and that is how we shall build a strong nation.
He urged the officers to take advantage of the deal and invest in government-backed affordable housing projects. Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
Well, there is a need for urgent measures to mitigate a looming maize shortage in the country next year. Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization, KALou, Director General Dr. Patrick Kitien warned that key food baskets in the country are facing poor harvest or crop failure occasioned by depressed rainfall.
Key bread baskets in Western and the North Rift are reeling from prolonged dry spells that has left a trail of destruction in the maize-growing regions. Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization Director General Dr. Patrick Kitiem says most maize-growing regions are facing crop failure due to depressed rain. He further says the regions also experienced 4 armyworms that left a trail of destruction.
This year we've had largely, we can say most of the regions have had crop. Rain has not been good. It's a depressed rainfall. So if we've walked across the countryside and we found most of the fields, the maize, and majority of the crops are almost at that failure stage.
Speaking after the groundbreaking ceremony of the Naivasha Kalou Research Agri-Park, Dr. Kitiem said the organization was working with farmers in capacity building, introduction of new drought-resistant crops, and advising them to embrace irrigation.
We are asking farmers to visit Kalou, then so that they can be able, other than getting the good technology or good variety, we are also capacitating farmers on how to do adaptation, mitigation, and more so we are encouraging farmers to embrace issues of irrigation, because without irrigation, then the rain-fed farming becomes a challenge.
Previously, we have worked with Kalou to make sure Kalou recovers back land that was taken away.
Elsewhere, organizations should strengthen the quality of their financial and sustainability reporting as regulators and industry bodies seek to deepen investor confidence and support sustainable economic growth. The call came during the launch of the 2026 Financial Reporting Award, where the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya CEO Dr. Grace Kamau urged organizations to embrace high-quality disclosures to positively position themselves to stakeholders and investors.
Investors are placing increasing emphasis on environmental, social and governance disclosures alongside traditional financial statements in evaluating companies amid tightening reporting standards as businesses face growing scrutiny over climate risks and long-term value creation.
Because also investors are interested in knowing how much carbon emission is happening and so many other business practices. So even before we go to putting it on paper, then we have seen demand even by the general consumers on that. But also for the consumers, for the investors, I think we've seen investors being skewed towards investing in institutions or in organizations that are having sustainable practices more than those who have not maybe disclosed how sustainable they are doing their businesses.
Companies that provide transparent sustainability disclosures are increasingly being viewed as more resilient by investors, making it easier to attract capital and build stakeholder trust.
There is no way an institution will run without properly managing their risks. There is no way a retiree will actually
fail to take into account, not a retiree, even those who are still contributing actively, will wish to know how well the investments are being invested. Are they being invested in a responsible way?
Even consumers asking how sustainable and how responsible has your product been done, whether it is in terms of even waste disposal and many other practices that are just being encouraged across.
But what the public sector has done is to closely follow that and ask ourselves, is it only about investment, but do governments also want to know whether they are running sustainable institutions? And if you look at sustainability, much of it will probably take the form of the Sustainable Development Goals.
The public sector is being called upon to prepare for a changing reporting landscape as the International Public Sector Accounting Standards Board Sustainability Reporting Standard on climate-related disclosures takes effect from January 2028.
Millers are calling on the government to allow importation of genetically modified food or soybeans and yellow maize strictly for animal feed production to reduce retail cost of feeds. Association of Kenya Feed Manufacturers Chairperson Joseph Karori says high cost of raw materials have pushed up feed prices, warning that Kenya's risks falling behind after countries that have adopted genetically modified inputs for animal feed production.
Kenya has allowed cultivation of genetically modified cotton even as importation or cultivation of food crops await a court ruling. Players in the livestock value chain believe allowing cultivation or importation of genetically modified soybeans and yellow maize would help drive down animal feed prices.
And also matters of climate change is a reality. We're having more droughts nowadays. That means shortages in terms of productivity. We can see a danger ahead. So we just urge that we be allowed to use GM raw materials, especially for animal feed.
The whole issue about affordability of feed goes a long way into fitting the equation of food affordability. So feed and food go together.
Millers and researchers say the ban on importation and cultivation of GMO food crops has increased competition for white maize, pushing up prices.
As a country, we're importing 80% of our raw materials from other countries, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, Malawi. And it's quite unfortunate because their industries are also growing. The animal feed industries are growing. So soon, we'll have nothing to import from those countries. And that will be a crisis.
The contemporary or the counterpart crop and the GM are substantially equivalent. That means the nutritional value does not change. The only thing that we will have changed will be the traits that we'll have added to the crop.
They argue that millers face challenges in sourcing non-GMO raw materials for animal feed production since many countries have adopted GMOs.
80% of the soybeans traded globally are GM. 70% of maize traded globally is GM.
Benson Druba reporting for Prime Edition.
Elsewhere, Kenya is among 23 Eastern, Southern and Northern Africa countries that have signed an agreement to establish a regional maritime university to strengthen skilling of seafarers. Maritime Principal Secretary Aidan Miller says the Maritime University will offer trainees with internationally recognized maritime accreditation to improve their competitiveness in the global shipping industry.
Including Kenya, have rolled out plans to establish a regional shipping line to ease logistic challenges. Maritime Organization for Eastern, Southern and Northern Africa Member State Secretary General Kasim Mpata says 23 African countries are looking to invest in regional transshipment.
We put up some vessels, 2 vessels, 3 vessels according to the capacity of our regional states, which is very difficult for one country to achieve because it's about $50 million if you want a vessel which is sea-going and which can do some work in terms of also carrying some cargo from one regional port to another.
Transshipment is the local way of doing business. For example, if you can take a container from Nairobi to Mozambique or Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, or even Mogadishu, Somalia, even Djibouti, we don't have it. And there's a space that we can really invest in.
Part of the strategy includes establishing a regional maritime university that will offer training and globally recognized accreditation.
This initiative is coming to consolidate our efforts in the Eastern and Southern Africa so that we can produce a center of excellence. We can come up with a place which we can call our own as regional states.
Once established, the Maritime University is expected to enhance skill set of local seafarers and position them for the global maritime job market.
Since they have over 500,000 people as a seafarers, you can imagine now and the members of the European nations, they are now going back on that. Those guys now don't want, they become so digital, they don't want actually to be on vessels for 1 year, to be in the ocean. They want to stay in the cities and enjoy life. That space now is being filled by Africans.
Benson Druba reporting for Prime Edition.
Almost outside of living memory to retain the FIFA World Cup. Messi to the edge of the England box. Fernandes again, brilliant, simply brilliant. Argentina level it. They never stop believing. Fernandes has had 3 or 4 off the target. They're taking the pummeling of their lives here. Messi crosses. It's too good. It's 2-1 to Argentina.
And watch this for a cross. It's absolutely outstanding.
I know he's been a bit off his best.
Dial *977# or download My Power app to access Kenya Power services fast and easy. Kenya Power, nuru ya Kenya.
Join us today and enjoy quick loan approvals, attractive returns on your investment, and unmatched customer experience. Membership is now open to all. Port Sacco, uplifting people.
World Cup iko KBC na Kenya ina watch pamoja. Nairobi, Nakuru, Kitengela, Kalou and Kisii. Come join your favorite KBC presenters and DJs kwa ground. Feel the bow fever in every city.
Time now for sports, where Kenya's preparation for the 2026 Commonwealth Games have gathered momentum, with the various teams raring to go in their respective disciplines before the Games begin next week in Glasgow. The second batch of Team Kenya, comprising of the para-athletics team, is set to depart for Glasgow tonight, all psyched up to join their compatriots from para-powerlifting who are already in Scotland for the Games.
Team Kenya to this year's Commonwealth Games is leaving the country for Glasgow in batches. The para-powerlifting team, which left the country last night, is already in Glasgow, with another team set to leave tonight.
Bowling, boxing, swimming on the 20th, followed by weightlifting on the 22nd. Athletics will be on the 23rd. Cycling, paracycling will leave on the 26th, and judo lastly on the 27th.
This was confirmed as National Olympic Committee of Kenya, NOC, received new partners for Team Kenya, Brookside Dairy.
It's a process, and this process needs investment. So the kind of partnership I'm looking for is the partnership that is going to be part of the process, not just a one-off.
To reaffirm that discussions are ongoing to see how Brookside Dairy can come in to continue. The word is to continue supporting, because we're already supporting, okay? To continue supporting our players across board.
The Kenyan squad heads into the games with high expectations, carrying the nation's hopes of adding to Kenya's impressive record in international championships.
Natarajia kuleta gold Kenya. Hata kasta make it kwa gold. Hiyo medal yani ni hakikisha nimekuja na medal Kenya.
I know the team that is going to represent us is going to give their best. We have done our practice enough, and I believe in them. They're going to bring medals.
The Kenyan team to this year's edition of the Commonwealth Games will be seeking to clinch more medals after amassing a total of 21 medals during the previous edition that was held in 2022. Reporting for Prime Edition from Nairobi, my name is Frederick Mwaki.
Elsewhere, the national women's soccer team Harambee Starlets have arrived in Miramas, France for a week-long training camp as they intensify their preparations for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations set for Morocco from the 25th of this month to the 16th of next month. The team, under head coach Beldin Odemba, will use the camp to acclimatize to conditions similar to Morocco and fine-tune their preparations ahead of a tough Group A campaign against host Morocco, Senegal and Algeria. Odemba says the squad is in good shape after weeks of training and friendly matches. Kenya will be making their second WAFCON appearance, and they will begin their campaign against Morocco on Sunday next week, with the team targeting a historic run to the semi-finals and qualifications for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. Well, Kenya's team to the World Athletics Under-20 Championship back took some time off their routine training today to attend a psychological training and counseling session organized by Athletics Kenya. The training, which focused primarily on psychological and emotional self-care, also included lessons on handling pressure, fame, finances and relationships among athletes and the official before, during the championship. Athletics Kenya Chief Administrative Officer Susan Kamau, who attended the session, announced that the Federation will make such training mandatory for Kenyan teams ahead of their international assignments, as it's also crucial in tackling the doping menace. Kenya aims to improve on its 5th place finish at the 2024 Lima, Peru, outlining where it secured 3 gold, 3 silver and 3 bronze medals. The team of 23 athletes, consisting of 12 boys and 11 girls, which reported for a residential training camp last week, will depart the country at the end of this month ahead of the global showpiece set for the 5th to the 9th of next month in Oregon, USA.
So for young people, we wanted them to develop mechanisms of communicating when they are not happy with the adult companions. The adult companions include the coaches, the medical doctors, the physiotherapists, and the managers who travel with them. So basically that is what we center on compared to the adults. So for the adult, we help them to understand how to handle the young athletes.
It is a deliberate move that we have made as Athletics Kenya to have the counselors come and talk to them, have team building, so that even as they can travel as a team. We know that through this training through the counselors that we brought today, it is going to change their mindset, and as they go, they'll go prepared, knowing that we have prepared them as Athletics Kenya.
Kenya is set to make history this year after being selected to host the World Youth Scrabble Championship for the first time, becoming the first African nation to stage the prestigious global tournament slated for the 7th to the 9th of August. Scrabble Kenya has announced a 50-member national team that will represent the country at the championship, with players drawn from different parts of the country following a series of qualification events.
Players from Australia, United States of America, Thailand, Malaysia and other nations of the world will converge at Trademark Hotel this August for the prestigious World Scrabble Youth Championship, which Kenya will be hosting for the first time.
Expecting an upward of 50 Kenyan students playing at the event. Currently also, as of today, we have about almost 150 students from all over the world confirmed participation. We have the powerhouses: Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Australia, USA, Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Uganda.
Kenya will be represented by 50 players, including Wandera Emmanuel, Leslie Jerop, Wambui Audrey, Omondi Ryan, among others.
Our focus was on the youth because we need to compete and give youth a chance. And that's why we went to the grassroots and try and develop the game from the lower ranks. And with that, it's already bearing fruits. In the last edition of the second edition of African Youth Scrabble Championship, the first edition in Nigeria, we had no Kenyan in the top 30.
Organizers say the event will not only promote mind sports but also boost sports tourism and strengthen Kenya's profile as a destination for international competitions. Kenya will become the first African nation to host the World Youth Scrabble, with 150 participants from different parts of the world already confirmed their participation for the August event. Reporting for Prime Edition from Nairobi, my name is Frederick Mwoki.
On out to the World Cup, where England manager Thomas Tuchel admitted his side became too passive after taking the lead as the Three Lions suffered a dramatic 2-1 defeat to Argentina in the FIFA World Cup semi-final. Anthony Gordon had put England ahead before Enzo Fernandez equalized, and substitute Lautaro Martinez headed home a stoppage time winner to send the defending champions into Sunday's final against Spain. Tuchel defended his substitution despite criticism after replacing goalscorer Gordon, insisting England simply failed to maintain their intensity after scoring. Meanwhile, Martinez revealed that he had predicted his decisive goal before coming off the bench, saying it fulfilled a childhood dream. Argentina will now face Spain in the FIFA World Cup final as they beat to retain the title they've won in Qatar in 2022. England will face France in the third place playoffs. Don't miss the action live on KBC Channel 1 this weekend.
Messi to the edge of the England box. Fernandez again. Brilliant, simply brilliant. Argentina level it. They never stop believing. Fernandez has had 3 or 4 off the target.
But for Argentina, they've got to seize the moment here. They've 9 minutes to go and do it now. Go and get themselves into the final. Rest up for Spain.
McAllister on the edge this time. Off the post. Pickford was beaten all ends up again. England are taking the pummeling of their lives here. Messi crosses. It's too good. It's 2-1 to Argentina. It's Lautaro Martinez. Lautaro Martinez makes his mark on the world.
Life changes, and so can your insurance. In the event you are unable to pay your life insurance premiums for some reason, and you have paid your premiums for at least 3 years, don't worry. Your premiums haven't gone to waste. Your policy may remain in force under paid-up value, giving you reduced but valuable cover with no extra premium payments. It is recommended that you do not cancel your policy before maturity to receive the full benefits of your policy. Talk to your insurance company in the event you have challenges paying your insurance premium. Read and understand the terms and conditions of your policy. This message is brought to you by the Insurance Regulatory Authority, IRA. IRA, Bima Bora kwa Taifa.
Today I'm cooking ugali na Ajab Premium Maize Meal. Enjoy the amazing aroma. Enjoy incredibly soft ugali. Dan. Ingia ligi ya kipekee na Ajab Premium Maize Meal.
You lost a bet. Every 4 years, emotions run wild across the world. In 2022, more than 2 million people went too far with their bets. To the point of even risking their dignity.
If we win today, I promise that No promises, please. This year, bets matter.
This year, play Sporty Bet.
And he's actually laughing.
Almost outside of living memory to retain the FIFA World Cup. Messi to the edge of the England box. Fernandes again, brilliant, simply brilliant. Argentina level it. They never stop believing. Fernandes has had 3 or 4 off the target. They're taking the pummeling of their lives here. Messi crosses. It's too good. It's 2-1 to Argentina.
And watch this for a cross. It's absolutely outstanding.
I know he's been a bit off his best.
Dial star 977 hash or download My Power app to access Kenya Power services fast and easy. Kenya Power, nuru ya Kenya.
Counting still continues in Old Kalau constituency, where so far the percentage of the Form 35A that have so far been accounted for stands at about 15%. And this is about 17 polling stations out of the 144 polling stations, and so you can still see that it is still going to be a long night here. And I understand that IEBC is urging the polling clerks to accelerate their counting or their turnaround time to ensure that this exercise doesn't go beyond the 3 a.m. Timing. But you know what? We are going to be here throughout the night until the final ballot is counted and until the winner is handed the certificate, because that is why we are here, so that we can keep you posted on what's happening in Old Kalau constituency. Remember, they went to the polls today after 3 months of grueling campaign, oh good Lord, which sometimes it was marred by violence. And that is why we need to discuss the question of peace. That's right. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that whatever has been happening in Old Kalau is a mirror of what is likely to happen in 2027. How true that could be. I am joined in studio by Venerable Canon Dr. Scholar Wayoa. She is a peace ambassador as well as a lecturer at St. Paul's University in Limuru, Kiambu County. Thank you very much indeed, Wayoa, for joining us this evening. I first of all want to hear from you. When you cast an eye on what has been happening in Old Kalau from the time that the official campaigning period was announced 3 months ago by the IEBC, what conclusions do you make?
Thank you very much for this opportunity to discuss about this very crucial issue. And just an overall assessment of the whole process, I would want to say that we have observed so many issues which have transpired, but overall assessment is that the by-election of Old Kalau reflects both the strengths and improvements in the Kenyan democratic forum. And also the voter turnout was very impressive, I would say. And of course,
it continues to assure us that the voters continue to believe that it is in the ballot where we can get legitimate means of choosing a leader. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I want to hear this from you. When you look at the political class, before we go to the voters, do you think they have behaved well in Ol Kalou?
The political class, I would say, in a way or another, from what we can see, you know, and the observation that we can make is that a majority of them have, you know, continued to maybe to talk to the voters in different ways, but at the same time, some, I would say, also have also behaved themselves, but at the same time, they have not, a majority of them have not reflected probably a true picture of peaceful coexistence. Because apart from the whole idea of voters and voting process, the whole idea of making and ensuring that these people will still live together before, during, and after election is very important.
Mm-hmm. And of course, when you look at how voters, you know, have also performed in terms of being mature, ensuring that they campaign in peace and they go about their business in a mature manner, have they conducted themselves in a plausible way?
Indeed. The voters of Ol Kalou, I want first to congratulate them for behaving in a good manner. Of course, there are some extremes that we would also see even amongst the voters, and maybe some temperatures rising, probably when we get the issues of maybe decisions, or maybe this is my side, this is a side of so and so. Some of the times you could see voters and communities, you know, coming up with a lot of issues amongst one another. But I would want to congratulate them, because even after today, mm-hmm. there is peace. And even when you could listen to the residents of Ol Kalou speaking, they could always comment that they want peace and peace and peace. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Did they keep peace?
The people of Ol Kalou?
Yeah, they wanted peace. Did they keep peace?
Basically, I want to say that because until the time when we witnessed maybe the issues of the old people who are coming, maybe harmed people, and you could see even when they were seeing the vehicles coming, you know, at one point you could see the vehicles coming, and then they would tell the vehicles, no, you're not getting closer. In a way or another, I would say they kept peace, but at the same time, as temperatures also rose, there was also incident whereby some people or some people were maybe threatened in a way or another. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want you to speak to the pockets of violence that we witnessed during the electioneering process and what it says about us as a society.
Sure. As we have been following, politicians have been coming, and of course, the 3 months of politics have been experienced, and you could hear people speaking about Ol Kalou, and all eyes were on Ol Kalou because of the by-election. And so I would want to say that as much as the politicians would want maybe to win, on the other hand, they should also, the citizens generally should also know that it is not about what I get. And ask yourself whether the small token that probably you are given is worthy 2 years or 5 years that will come after the electioneering period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you look at the Election Offences Act of 2016, and more specifically Section 11, it speaks about election or electoral violence. And it goes on to say that candidates or people engaged in violence during electoral processes, they can be prosecuted. But yet we haven't seen IEBC or any prosecuting agency in Kenya taking any steps to hold anyone who has perpetuated violence in All Kalau, taking them to account.
Yes, I hear what you're saying, and of course this is a very important issue that we should look at. I like what the CS of Interior said, that of course they are going to take every person to account. I know that for Kenyans, this will be a very important issue for them to see that every perpetrator of peace and every person who brings violence or brought violence during this time of election will be brought into account. I think this is at the time when the Kenyans will say, yes, true measure has been taken to perpetrators and those who have brought or who had caused violence during elections.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, as a peace ambassador and as as a person who has studied conflict management, when you saw the people of All Kalau fighting each other and yet they have lived together for ages, how did that make you feel?
This really felt me feel bad as a peace ambassador. What I usually speak about is more of peace and issues of conflict, and looking at people of All Kalau fighting each other, of course, brings a lot of pain to me as a peace ambassador, and I know also to Kenyans, because these people during, after, and even before elections were living together. So what is making them? It means that there is fire somewhere, or there is a voice somewhere telling them, this is not your brother. But of course, people of All Kalau have lived together. And as you heard even from some people during the day, they say that we have lived together. And so it is a community. So seeing them fighting one another brings a lot of issue, and then ask myself, if the people of All Kalau at this particular by-election can fight one another or can, bring violence to one another, then again, what is it bringing to us? It shows that there is need for people to peacefully coexist and engage and know that there is life after elections.
As a member of the Peace Ambassadors campaign, did you engage with the residents of All Kalau or the political class that were campaigning in All Kalau?
Okay, I could follow because, of course, I have friends and colleagues as a clergy. I also have people in the ground, and at the same time also colleagues who belong to All Kalau. Of course, I did not go there physically myself, but of course we have different peace ambassadors across the country who, of course, engaged and were able also to reach out to them, and we engage across on the issues of peace. But at the same time, even engaging through academic academic forums and holding, because of course I always engage and hold some forums to talk to religious leaders, to scholars, and also to the community. In a way or another, I would say yes, I engaged, indirectly or even direct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you are a member of the clergy here in Kenya. And when you look at all Kalau constituency, 83.5% of all the residents, they confess the Christian religion.
Mm-hmm.
And yourself, you've studied conflict management in the Christian architecture. If they profess to be Christians, as the statistics indicate, then where are we failing as a nation? Or who failed who?
What I want to tell you this evening is that, yes, as a clergy, as you have asked, we remain, the clergy remains to be the prophetic, or to bring the prophetic voice, and of course become the voice of the voiceless, embrace justice, promote peace, and at the same time encourage peaceful coexistence. But of course, we need also to challenge injustices that probably are found within a society. We need to remind the people that leaders, that authority is entrusted to us, and it is entrusted to us by God to serve people, uphold the truth and integrity, and respect humanity. But at the same time, even for us as Christians and as people, sometimes you would miss probably a point, or miss to engage with a brother or a sister, and from that point you may miss the mark. What I would want to encourage as a member of the clergy is that it is significance, of course, to choose to love God and to love peace and to engage with your brother from a human perspective. Because if I am in the church and, as you are saying, we confess Christianity, but again, you don't only talk about, we don't only bring the issue of Christianity, when at the back probably there is also another thing that is pressing you and telling you probably this is not what you are supposed to do. You are given something probably, and then you don't have food, you don't have anything to eat, and then somebody maybe comes, a politician gives you some money, and then, but as Christians, we need to uphold Christian values.
How do you, I want you to speak to us on the conduct of security agencies in Old Kalau.
Well, I observed, and of course we have also seen through the media, the security agencies, and what they have been saying, that of course we are holding, they are saying that they are holding peace and security. The only challenge is when we got these people, these goons, these people who are armed, and probably we are asking ourselves, what and where did they come from? And where did they pass? That is maybe something that we need to challenge ourselves as a country, and we also look at where is the loophole? What is the challenge?
The people that we saw, fighting in the streets of Old Kalau town are not children. They are mature men and women. And from churches to schools, there has been clarion calls for people just to be peaceful and for people to differ peacefully. You support this candidate and I support this candidate. It is not that should not divide us. So what was triggering the kind of violence that we have been seeing in Old Kalau during the campaign period, and even today, what we witnessed in some pockets of Old Kalau constituency?
If I would maybe chip in and talk about what really transpired, I want to look at a scenario. And this picture whereby the people of Olkalau have been living together. But of course now it is a by-election, which of course it is after a member of parliament passed on. And then now we want to re-elect, or they want to re-elect another member of parliament, of course to represent them to the parliament, but of course also to look at their issues of Olkalau. But then the issue which transpired and people are fighting on the roads, as we saw, I would want to condemn it to the highest. But at the same time, there is also something that might have been triggered. And I would want to say the issues of politicians probably wanting to come, or maybe every politician wants to say that I am the one who should win. I am the one who should win. So I think all these issues, and then taking your people, taking a group, inciting them, or maybe giving them some amount of money or some little bribery, all this could have transpired, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Dr. Wayoa, I mean, you've been around for quite some time, and I'm sure you have followed the Kenya's political system for many years. Do you feel that Kenyans are increasingly becoming politically intolerant?
Yes.
Why?
I want to start by saying yes, because of what we are really seeing across the country. Mm-hmm. Not only all Kalau, but even in different areas. But maybe I want to start by passing a message to the leadership, especially the politicians, that the politicians are the stewards of leadership in Kenya or in any country. Citizens expect service from the people who are elected. So I just want to say that we should become stewards of leadership, and of course not in any way to separate or to divide Kenyans, but at the same time bring them together, because leadership is entrusted by God.
Help us understand this. We all understand and we know the dangers of political intolerance. Why are people not keen on maintaining peace and political tolerance as we head to the 2027 general election? And this is reflected in what we have seen in all Kalau and other areas where we have held by-elections in the recent past.
I want to believe, Brian, is that the issue of political leaders or politicians may be placing their personal desires or personal needs or personal, issues that they have above the unity of Kenyans. When you find that politicians and the leaders, they should place the national unity above anything else. And of course, each one of them should be embracing the issue of national unity. And I think when you see all this happening among the politicians, among our leaders, among leaders, even in the religious arena, then of course we need honestly to tell ourselves, to bring ourselves back and ask ourselves, the national unity is of paramount and very important, and so we need to tell the people, the political class, and also the citizens, let us place Kenya above any other personal needs.
The people that I saw, fighting each other and throwing stones in all Kalau, to me they appeared like these are people in their mid-40s, early 50s. And these are people who were here in 2007, and they saw the dangers of a country if it get into a position of political conflict. Is it a sign that they didn't learn from what we saw in 2007?
Human beings are able to judge issues, and at the same time they are also able to be involved in malpractices and many other issues. But as you are saying, truly, these are people in the mid-40s, surely. But I want to say that these people, there must be something that is triggering them, or maybe forcing them probably to behave in a particular manner, because as they live, these are people who live together on a daily basis. These are people who fetch water together on a daily basis. These are people who take farm products together in industries and other places. So when you see these people behaving like this, it is not that they did not learn, but majorly because there are some triggers that are triggering them, or there are issues that maybe they are looking at because of personal issues, my personal candidate, the candidate that I support, just because of maybe a particular small token, I would say.
Let's also address the issues of bribery during the campaign period. As a clergy, what is your position on, because there was reported widespread bribery during the campaign season, and this is not only isolated in All Kalau. I mean, we always see this happening. Is it contributing to the growing political intolerance in this country, and how do we address it?
Surely that this is something that needs to be addressed, because we have been hearing, the stories have been on air, and the people have been following what has been happening during campaigns. Sometimes some politicians would want to give some tokens, bribery to people so that they may vote. But I want this issue to address to the citizens themselves, and to ask the voters themselves, if you are given very little incitement, something that of course you will eat today and tomorrow you don't have, but you suffer in the next 2 years or even the next 5 years because you have chosen the wrong candidate. It is upon us, and of course with civil education and each and every one of us playing part in educating each other, that we don't need to sell our birthright.
What is All Kalau? What message is it sending to Kenyans in 2027? And how should we make other by-elections, if they come, and other national elections in the future to be peaceful? What lessons can we draw from All Kalau to make peaceful decisions in the future?
All Kalau incident today is, first, I want to say that first I also congratulate the people of All Kalau, because even not every case, not everywhere, but at least people were spreading the message of peace, and they were talking about peace. But today democracy remains alive. This is something that we should always speak to citizens, and let us manage the next stage of the process with patience, integrity, and peace, rejecting every kind of violence. And of course, let us also not listen to misinformation. Let us also not listen to people who might be misguiding us, because all said and done, we will live in the same place, and all said and done, Kenya is ours to stay.
When you look at the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, and you consult their data, they will tell you that 83.7% of all the residents of all Kalau, they live in the rural areas. And so these are indigenous people. These are local residents. And with that in mind, you would then expect them to know each other and to live as a close-knit society. And so you wouldn't expect to see the kind of violence that we have witnessed in all Kalau, but we are seeing it. What is this telling us?
This is alarming. First, it is alarming, and it is telling us that we need to go to the drawing board and ask ourselves questions on integrity and human dignity. Because as you are saying, truly these people are indigenous, living together within the same locality. They have played football together. They have, gone to celebrations together, to, Siadi and other things together. Whereby, of course, if it is dowry, they go together. If it is worship, they worship together. But then, of course, during election, it is like you are seeing a different person. So I want to say that we need to go back to the drawing board and reject violence of any manner during elections. Because it is like, somebody is blinded not to see your brother or your sister as a brother or a sister. But at the same time, I still want to go back to the politicians and tell them that they are being, they are bestowed with stewardship of leadership within that area. And so if I win, let us go with a win-win situation, whereby, of course, we have the spirit of if I win, it's, if I win, we win, the people of all Kalau or the people of Kenya, but not, of course, it is me and me and me.
Look, when you look at Nyandarua County, in terms of county gross product, it is positioned at number 21. So you can't say that it's a badly off a county. It's not the best, definitely. And when you look at the economy of Nyandarua County, you're looking at about almost 200 billion Kenya shillings, and a population of 630,000 people. And so it has a very small per capita income, among the residents. Do you see poverty as a contributing factor to the level of violence and intolerance that we saw in all Kalau?
Poverty might not be the contributing factor towards the violence. Because as I have said, this violence, as the people of all Kalau today said, that, they say that we have lived peacefully. And it is not actually lack of food that makes a person to fight another. You don't, because you have
Does
no
it
food.
contribute?
It contributes in a way or another. But at the same time, you look at these people, as you have said, there is, the agricultural
it's actually one of Kenya's bread baskets.
Exactly. So you may not really say that it is because of poverty, although poverty in a way or another because of maybe unemployment and other factors may contribute, but the level of violence that you could see, it was triggered by something else, but not really poverty. I might be wrong, but of course, as I look at all Kalau, you may not really say it's because of poverty. But of course, there are still people who might be living even below poverty. But are those the people in the front of the violence? If I may ask?
Well, I'm not in a position to respond to that question. Because to be honest, I have not been to all Kalau, for the longest time. But in the recent past, we have seen the government taking a lot of development to all Kalau. Unlike 10, 15 years ago, there are new roads, there are sewer lines that are being constructed within all Kalau town. Education infrastructure has improved there is a brand new hospital that is under construction. Well, it is a wing, part of what we call the JM Memorial Hospital. There is a brand new wing that is under construction. And so there has been a lot of development in the recent past. And so the question comes then, how then do we turn all these investments, not only in Ol Kalou, but in the entire Nyandarua County, to create jobs? Because if people are busy, if people, they have business to do, if people, they have work to do, you're not likely to see them in the streets throwing stones and throwing punches and, of course, heckling of a political process.
One, I would want to say that development is something that people of Ol Kalou deserve. I mean, they need to be, they need to get development, and it is their right, it is their right to get hospitals, to get all this. But of course, as we have said, because also, as I told you that I'm not from Ol Kalou, but of course, looking at it, you can say also, there might be also people who still need empowerment in a way or another, because...
What kind of empowerment?
In terms of, putting them up from poverty... Economic empowerment. Mm-hmm. They also require economic empowerment, because at every place, as you have said, there will still be a challenge of some people who are not employed. Across Kenya, mm-hmm. It is, when you look at Ol Kalou, you look at Nyandarua, you look at another place, it is not different from Kiambu here and other places. So you still find that there are people, young people, who have no work to do, or maybe they have no source of income. So there is also that need of empowerment.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're just joining us, we're giving you special coverage of the Ol Kalou by-election. As you know by now, the vote counting is currently underway, and I just want to feed you with some statistics that are coming through. As of 23:11, that is 11 minutes past 11 p.m., 24 polling stations had, the counting in 24 polling stations had closed out of the 144 polling stations, and this represents about 16.67%. And these are statistics from the IEBC website, and these are not my statistics. And so that tells you that we still have a long night, we still have a long way to go. So you still have about almost 80 what percent, about 83 point something percent of polling stations that are yet to close their counting. And so the counting and of course the counter checking of forms 35A continues, and that's what you're seeing on your screen. You can see the polling clerks getting very busy here, and we'll continue to feed you with all the information that is coming out of the Ol Kalou by-election. As you can see, the streets are quiet. There's a heavy police presence in Ol Kalou to ensure that there is peace, and of course people there go about their business in peace. We have our reporters there, John Jacob Curie, as well as Giverson Minor, who will keep us updated on what's happening throughout this night. We are not sleeping because the voting or the vote counting continues in Ol Kalou, and we are here to ensure that we break the news on the winner, and of course giving you everything else that you deserve to know from Ol Kalou. We continue our conversation here with Venerable Canon, Dr. Scholar Wayoa. She's a peace ambassador as well as a lecturer at St. Paul's University, and she's helping us and us trying to understand how do we conduct ourselves in a peaceful as well as in a coherent manner as a society and as a people. I want to hear this from you, Dr. Wayoa. Is there anything that you admired in the way the citizens of All Kalau have conducted themselves?
Yes.
What is that?
I admired first the turnout.
The voter turnout.
The voter turnout. This is like telling me that citizens have realized that the only constitutional way of choosing a leader is through the ballot. I also liked when I saw the different ages, you know, the very old elderly citizen coming to vote, showing that their patriotism, and at the same time that even at this age, they still need to make decision of their leaders. I also liked the young people coming, of course. This is telling us that even the young people are realizing that it is only through the ballot that they can also choose the leader. So this is one of the things that I really liked. Yes.
Tell us this. I mean, when you look at the population of all Kalau, I mean, you have a significant majority of people who will not be classified as Gen Zs, because out of the 634,000 people in Nyandarua County, about 30% are below the ages of 35 years. And that's why we saw a lot of old people, you know, coming out to vote in All Kalau. Where are the Gen Zs in All Kalau?
I think across, I saw elderly people, yes, coming out, particularly the elderly persons. And at the same time, I also saw the differently abled people. The differently abled people were also coming. And I also saw Gen Zs who were also coming out, of course, voting and vigilantly, you know, guarding their votes, as they said, that they are also guarding the votes because they really wanted to see their choices meant. I think in a way or another, there is still need for civic education, that even the Gen Zs can continue coming out in large numbers, because it is only through the ballot that you can make a choice of a leader that you want.
Before I let you go, I also want you to tell us this. I mean, when you look at, you know, All Kalau constituency, you're talking about 1,109 square kilometers. You're looking at a population of 215,000 people living in that area. And it has attracted a lot of interest from the rest of Kenya. Why do you think this is the case? Because everyone is talking about All Kalau today in Kenya.
A by-election first.
And this is a by-election, by the way.
A by-election is an opportunity for the citizens of a particular constituency to also re-elect another member of parliament who can also lead them in the next remaining time. One of the interests is that the people of All Kalau themselves were coming out to elect their leader. But again, it also brings the picture, you know, in a way or another, of the entire country as we head to 2027. So some people, you know, are also looking at All Kalau as, okay, we want also to see where we are. You know, as a country, we are in a political mood, we are getting there, but at the same time, the people, I want to believe that the people of All Kalau also wanted to re-elect a member of parliament so that they may also be represented by a candidate of their preferred choice.
Very good. Anything else we need to know from you before I let you go?
Yes, I want to say this as an ambassador of peace. Peace is not the absence of disagreements. That is something that, of course, we all need to know. But it is, you know, it is about the ability to manage the differences respectively and constitutionally. So what I want to say is that for us, we also need to know that the whole idea of the winners after the results, winners should celebrate with humility. And those, of course, who will also lose, the losers should also embrace also humility, even as they manage the loss. Peace after election is as important as peace before election and during election. So I'm calling upon the people of Ol Kalou, no matter the results, that we embrace, peace and peaceful coexistence, because in Ol Kalou is your home. And also for Kenya, a message for us at large is that Kenya is home for all of us. Before, during, and after election, let us shun from violence, which can also hurt and harm one another.
Very good.
Yes.
I think we can add up at that point, a very beautiful point, that regardless of the outcome, Ol Kalou remains home. Kenya remains our country. Dr. Wayowa, thank you so very much indeed for joining us tonight, and of course for sharing with us that message of peace. It's urgently and really needed in this country.
Thank you very much too.
We appreciate you
for the opportunity.
Asante sana.
Blessings to Ol Kalou people, blessings to Kenya.
Thank you very much. Venerable Canon Dr. Scholar Wayowa is a peace ambassador, and of course member of the clergy, joining us tonight as we observe what is happening in Ol Kalou as the numbers continue to troop in. If you can allow me to give you some statistics before we sign off for now. You have now 18.06% of all polling stations have their numbers in, or have their Form 35A in, and this is about 26 polling stations out of 144. Yeah, so those are the numbers. 26 polling stations have so far concluded and submitted their results. This is out of 144 polling centers, and this represents 18.06%. I can guarantee you this is likely to go on, for some time. And we do understand that voter turnout in this by-election was very, very high, but those numbers remain with IEBC. Well, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has commended voters and security agencies for overseeing a peaceful voting process in Ol Kalou parliamentary by-election. IEBC Commissioner Hassan Nur Hassan urged all political actors to maintain peace even after the by-election. He lauded security agencies for ensuring a calm and orderly exercise. Commissioner Jerry Nderito commended the voters for keeping and maintaining peace, saying that the agency is committed to ensuring that this election is transparent and free.
We want to thank the people of Ol Kalou for having turned up in large numbers, and much of the exercise has gone on uninterrupted. It's been fairly peaceful in many of the polling stations. People have turned up in large numbers. As at 3 o'clock today, we had 50.78% voter turnout of registered voters. That is quite a good turnout, and we expect that number to increase between 3 and 5. Those 2 hours, we're likely to have more. The most important thing is to have this exercise concluded in a peaceful manner, and we are appealing to everybody, all the actors, political actors in the field who are there now, to secure and maintain peace and order up to this time and up to the end of the exercise. And we expect that before midnight or around midnight, we will be able to tell Kenyans who the elected member of parliament is. The wishes of the people of Ol Kalou will be respected. IBC is an impartial arbiter, and we have done all our processes, Our greatest joy is that our machines, our KIMS kit have all worked extremely well. We didn't have any failure, and we didn't have any problems in identifying the voters who have turned up. I want to thank the security team that has been deployed, large as they were, many as they were. They have been able to do a professional job. There has been very serious restraint by them so that nothing happens during this period. We are very grateful to them and to the police, our police and the IBC staff who have done the work very professionally.
We asked all the citizens and all the political players to allow the electoral officials to count the votes peacefully in the presence of the agents, observers, and media, only the accredited persons who are in the polling station. The rest of the people, our advice and our call is that they go home and wait for the results. Results are protected not only by the security officers but also by law, that the law requires that the IBC conduct elections in such an open and transparent manner that everybody can see which vote was cast and where it was counted.
Of course, those are members of the IBC. Those are commissioners with the IBC, of course, ensuring and telling Kenyans that they're going to ensure that the process is free and fair, and that the winner is going to be announced once the process is complete. We still got some more statistics coming in. As of 23:25, that is 25 minutes past 11 p.m., 30 polling centers have finished counting and submitted their documents out of 144. These represent 20.83%. Remember, we are coming back with more analysis. And of course, this is where we are putting an apostrophe at this point. We'll continue after the break.
Every 4 years, emotions run wild across the world. In 2022, more than 2 million people went too far with their pets. To the point of even risking their dignity.
If we win today, I promise that no promises, please. This year, be smart.
This year, play Sporty Bet.
And he's actually laughing.
Is the possibility of Argentina cracking ever so slightly here. James takes it. Martinez, he sees that all the way. It's not gone far. Anderson keeps it alive for England. Certainly that applies to Rodgers, to Harry Kane, to several of the others, but will that be enough against this side? Here's Alvarez getting the other side of Spence. Alvarez, and it's palmed away by